when I guess in the '70s when they had the bell bottoms. I mean, they came back around and women started wearing their pants with a little flare at the bottom. So I mean, everything comes in cycles.
Life can be beautiful if you let it.
In the bowl.
Yo, 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 what do you know? Welcome to In the Bowl Podcast. I'm your host, Nas.
It's your guy, Tall Man, live from Dubai.
And as always, In the Bowl Podcast is sponsored by your nation's own #1 mobile hookah provider. They not only do private events, they do wholesale distribution and take that experience to the next level. What's happening?
What's going on, man? How you doing, man? How's your week been so far?
Week's been good, man. Week's been good. Last time we talked, we continue to talk about how words have power. We talk about how, in this new year, it's a lot of things going on, things happening, things moving. What's up with you?
Oh man, not too much on this side, man. Weather's perfect. It's starting to warm up, a lot sooner. They say, winter is just about over. Now we're hitting about between 85, 90 degrees each day. So, I'm happy with that. I can't complain about the weather. I love warm climates. I love moving around outside, man. So, work is busy. Life is busy. We got some folks in town, so we've been trying to, mix it up with them a little bit, let them do the, tourist stuff, and take them out to see some local culture. So all is well on this end.
That's what's up. I mean, that's your question. So, the whole thing is in the bowl, and we talk about hookahs, we talk about everyday events, we talk about life, we talk about, what's happening to us. I'm gonna ask you a question, I guess. So tonight, I'm trying something a little bit different. I'm trying a more citrusy flavor.
Okay.
Right. So I'm doing an orange mint with a little bit additional mint.
All right.
What do you think that really enhances the bowl?
And I think it's it's a combination of things. It can be the tobacco itself. Back stateside, a lot of our tobacco, comes from Virginia. So it has a certain profile and look to it. Then you got the French tobacco, the Russian shisha, which is a little darker, a little bolder. It's almost like a cigar,
Yeah.
Where you got the light wrappers, the dark wrappers, and it's funny because one of our guests out here this week is also an avid hookah shisha smoker, and they laughed because the other night, I was having a nightcap bowl, and they were like, "Hey, do you have another hookah?" And I was like, "Okay, one, you got to be kidding me. There's about 15 hookahs in here." But I asked them, I was like, "What's your flavor profile?" And it kind of took them back because they were like, "Wow, nobody has ever asked me that before." So then I rephrased the question. I was like, "All right, what don't you like?" So I know, what kind of bowl to make for you. So definitely, the type of shisha, whether it even be the brand or the origins of the tobacco, that makes a difference. Then, if you really want to take it to another level, you can, mess around with your base. Like how, going back to, the Morgan states, homecoming, tailgates. How we may do one that has, wine, one that may do one that has a beer or, something else in it. But like that orange mint you're smoking, if you really want to get creative with it, you could take some orange slices and, drop that in the base with your water and, some fresh mint leaves. And, kind of let that sit for like an hour or two, before you make your bowl. So that way, when it's filtering through that liquid, you're picking up on, all those, that citrus blend, on your base. So those are just a handful of ideas that you can,
Yeah.
use to enhance your experience.
I think a lot of people forget about how important the base could be, right? I think people forget about, we talk about, again, a foundation, right? We talk about,
Yeah,
just even everyday conversation about like who you are as an individual, how that makes you who you are, and whoop, you know what I'm saying? But even in hookah, I think that the base and how you set up, like you said, every time we end the show, we always talk about cleaning out the base.
yeah, definitely.
After hose, we talk about cleaning out the, what I'm saying, the valve, the pipe, and all that. I think people forget about the foundation is key, right? And the foundation of is the base.
Yeah,
So you don't have ghost flavors.
good stuff.
So, I agree. It's like the citrusy, or whether you have mint added into it, you don't have ghost flavors. I think that the base is a key. Whether you're adding mint to it, that's cool. But just adding ice, you can add different flavors. You can have a diluted, like, dairy or milk or a wine or a beer.
Yeah,
That can add to the flavors. And people forget that.
yeah, man. When you sit down and have conversations with people about hookah and shisha, a lot of times it could be eye opening, because a good majority of folks, their experience with hookah is either going to a restaurant or going to a lounge or a club, or even stopping by somebody's house and having some hookah, where they don't necessarily see all the kind of the behind the scenes work and the creativity with it, because hookah is a lot like cooking.
Yeah.
Because you got to have things that complement each other. It's like if you're making I mean, if you're cooking a meat or something, you want to season your meat and let it marinate, maybe let it sit for overnight, and that makes a difference in it. I mean, if you just take something out of the pack and sprinkle some seasoning on it, you're going to get a whole different taste versus if you let something sit in the refrigerator overnight and just let everything sink into it. So I think when you sit down and have those conversations and break it down, you can see the aha moment, and talking to people. And they're like, man, I didn't realize it was that deep. I just thought it was throwing some shisha in the bowl and putting some coals on top and pulling. But it's really an in-depth experience.
And people forget that. I think it all goes down to a foundation, right? I think people forget that. Like you said, there's so many things you can make that hookah into. You can make the bowl. You can make the combination of flavors enhanced with additional mint. Whether it has an already mint infused to it. I think a lot of people forget that.
It's wild, man. But like I said, it's so much you can do. I mean, even down to the type of hose you use, or the type of bowl you use, whether it's a vortex bowl or a clay bowl, or silicone or ceramic. It's just wild when you sit down and start breaking things down, man. It could be like a 2 hour conversation of just the nuances of the different things you can do to, as you say, enhance that experience.
So, from a clay or a vortex bowl, which one do you prefer?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I like the clay bowl is very traditional, but the thing I don't like about the clay bowls is the depth of the bowl. Some can be shallow. Some can just not have that depth to where you can really get a good amount of shisha in there and mix it up. But I love the vortex bowl because the vortex bowl, of course, has the hole in the middle, so it's very, very forgiving, where if you overpack your bowl, you still can get a good pull, because the clay bowl, if you overpack that because, the holes are at the bottom,
Yeah.
You're going to really have to take some deep breaths, to get a good pull, if you've overpacked it. But the vortex bowls, you can definitely get, more tobacco, more shisha in there, and you can get some longevity in that experience. Because people ask, how long do your bowls usually last? I'm like, well, I can get hour and a half, close to 2 hours out of the bowl before it even starts, tasting burnt. And that's because of the type of bowl it is. And of course, cold management. You can't keep putting coals in the same spot. You got to spread those coals around the bowl, so that way it burns evenly.
I think people forget that, right? I think I like the vortex. You're right, right? It's you can overpack it. Sometimes people think that the more you pack it, the more flavor you get and everything like that. But people forget that the way you pack the bowl, then you put the foil on top, you put the holes in it where it kind of compresses on top of the the shisha. People forget that one part where you have to blow the bottom of the bowl to create that little bit of space between the foil and the shisha.
Exactly.
That's key. Because you get more flavor from it.
Exactly. And sitting, the foil right on top of the shisha and having the coal right there, it's going to burn fast because you're right. You don't have that separation. It's like grilling.
Yeah.
If your food is right by the flame, it's gonna get hotter quicker, and it's gonna be you got to be more attentive to it. So that separation, definitely goes along to making that experience pleasurable.
Yeah, that's real. That's real. That's real. And I think people forget that, man. I think people forget how important it is. That make that experience a lot different. That's why I say I fuck with my people from, Sisha to you. They continuously add those little, insight as to how can you make that experience better. So that's why I feel with them.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. They're on top of it. They know what they're talking about, and what they're saying makes sense. But I'm gonna tell you something that does not necessarily make sense to me. So past couple of years, we've been seeing these potato chip brands, getting creative, with the flavors that they have out there. Now, some have been, on point, some have, they really knocked it out the park. But there are some, and it's becoming quite common. And it's just like, what are you thinking? And who is going to eat this? Because I know in one of our chats this week, we had a video that a guy did for a new chip flavor, and the flavor was mayo, mayonnaise. Now, I am not the biggest supporter, of mayo. Now, I understand that mayo is, key in certain things. You're making potato salad, you're making deviled eggs. If you, adding something to it for like a spicy mayo, I get it. But to have a potato chip with mayo, being the featured flavor profile is just disgusting. And dude's face in the video showed just how nasty, that creation was. Man.
Yeah, I saw that, right? And I feel that. So first of all, I gotta ask you this question before I even dive deep into that. Are you a Mayo or a Miracle Whip type person?
Well, if I had, I'll say this. After Thanksgiving, you got leftover turkey. I'm all for, a turkey sandwich. Turkey sandwich, it's a mayo, a spicy mayo. But back in the day, it was mayo because that's what you had. But I would definitely lean more towards the mayo just because the Miracle Whip just seems so sweet. Where if I'm putting mayo on something, I'm not necessarily going for that, that sweet taste. I'm trying to, especially with turkey sandwiches. I'm just trying to add, a little something, on the bread, so that way, in case I come across, a dry piece of turkey, it's going to help to balance that out. I'm not going to sit over here and be chewing, for a day and a half, trying to get that turkey down. So, what about you?
I grew up on Miracle Whip, man. I can't, like, mayo. First of all, I don't feel like Mayo, whether it's Dukes, well, drop name brands, but you got Hellman's, Dukes, whatever else you got out there. I can't fuck with Mayo, man. Like Mayo just some white greasy shit. Like I just can't.
Oh man.
I don't feel like it has a real flavor, man. Like I don't know how you come out with a mayo chip.
Yeah, that's why.
But like you say, you know what I'm saying? I feel like Miracle Whip at least has a little bit of sweetness to it. But that mayo fucking flavor, that's just trifling.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, man. I agree, and that's why I said, I'll go with the spicy mayo because at least it has a little more flavor to it, and it gets rid of that blandness. Because it's funny, that there's an age old I don't want to say argument, I'll say a debate, in my household, where she loves mayo, and I love mustard. And she's like, "Oh, mustard is just disgusting, and this and that." I'm like, "Hey, you gotta watch your mouth and watch your tongue. You're not going." Exactly.
I agree with you on that. Mustard's solid. Mustard is definitely fucking solid.
Mustard is a true condiment, because it has a flavor profile. Like you said, man, mayo is it's just something you putting on there to get by,
I don't know. So, like, say if you get a hoagie, right? Like, if those are in the hoagie world, right? Do you do mayo and oil and vinegar? You do oil and vinegar? Because mayo honestly just adds moisture to the sandwich, makes the bread nice.
Exactly.
But there's no real flavor to it, right? It's just, if someone cakes too much mayo on it, it's just trifling.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I always tell them, just give me, light mayo. I mean, just let that knife just slide across the bread. I don't need you to lather it up in mayo to where, I'm biting a sandwich and, I got mayo falling out the side. Because that's just too extreme. Just a little bit of mayo for that moisture, and, oil and vinegar, and, you add your seasonings. But yeah, mayo, man, that's something different.
That shit trifling, dog. Like I can't. But like I don't know, man. Like Brian, like you know what I'm saying. He came out with LBJ. He tried to come out with I don't know what combination he came out with. I can't remember what it was, but just keep this shit simple, dog. Let's just keep your normal chip flavors. The mayo, no bueno, no bueno, no bueno, no bueno, no bueno.
No arguments over here about that. But I will say this. March is here. February just came and went. Like blink of an eye. Super Bowl's done. All-Star game is done. Basketball's in full swing. March Madness is around the corner. But shout out to all the women. For Women's History Month. Rolling right into that. So shout out to you all. Spring is around the corner. For the folks back in the States, daylight savings time is about a week or two out. So it's no longer gonna be dark at 5:15. So get your clocks ready and your body set. For that 1 hour you're about to lose in the morning.
Time is flying, man, and that's why it gets to it, right? It gets to we're in that time of the year, right? We're about to switch seasons.
Yeah.
Right, and we're about to get. But the seasons comes different things, right? It's everything changes, whatever, right? So it gets to the point to where right now we're at that point, and with the season changing, temperaments about to start changing, right? And fun's out. You know what I'm saying? Sun's out.
Yeah.
Fun. You know what I'm saying? I don't get into the whole other world, but fun's out. So it makes you think, right? It's with that season change, and obviously in DMV, we get the 4 seasons every day, especially right now because it's fucking confusing. Like even people confused. You got shorts on,
Yeah.
you got these on. You know, you got different trends, and I was actually having a conversation with a man the other day talking about. We were talking about being trendy.
Okay.
Would you rather be trendy or legendary? Because the reason I asked that is because what do you think your definition of trendy is?
Well, I think trendy is, it's edgy. It's being, very creative and stepping outside the box. It's adding a little flair, a little something, to whatever it is, you're rocking, whether it be, with slacks or, pants, if you got, showing a little ankle with some loafers or something, or, you're accessorizing it and, doing different things. It's just, that out of the box thinking where, you're not, you're not looking like a cookie cutter, approach where, if everybody has the same outfit on, you've done something to enhance it or to separate yourself from the pack.
Yeah, no, and I think that's the tough part, right? Because I had to really understand the definition of trendy. Because at first I was like, why can't you be a trendsetter?
Okay.
And they said some real shit to where it's like being a trendsetter could be okay, but you have a beginning, middle, and end being a trend.
Okay. Yeah.
We start talking about like Jay-Z, right? Is Jay-Z trendy or does he set trends? If he sets trends, is he, makes you want to think, right? Does that put him in another category as a trendsetter? Or is he trendy?
I mean, that's a good point. I think he's a combination of the two. For some of the things that he did, like the whole, when everybody was wearing the jerseys, and he was like, yeah, get rid of them jerseys, throw on a, button down. It's like overnight, jersey usage kind of dissipated. Where everybody was like, all right, man, we toss that and put on, a button down. So in that case, he did kind of, shift the culture or, kind of shift the trend, to moving, away from that. So in that respect, yeah, I mean, it's possible. And there's some things, like he was like, Ace of Spades, we're not drinking anymore. We're now drinking this. So another, shift in the culture and, shift in, what people were, consuming. So I don't know. I think he's done a combination of the two. There's some things he's done that, folks have not been able to emulate. So in that case, it may be trendy, like like the freedom with his hair right now. It's like I don't know. He didn't necessarily, invent that style. I mean, a lot of that came from Basquiat, and it came from our good folks, in South Florida. With that style. So I mean, he's now become comfortable in his own skin to do what he wants, wear what he wants, and his appearance and how he wants. But that's not something that you and I could do. Walk into the workplace.
And that's why I say, right, I think that as you think about it, you can be a trendsetter and not be trendy.
Yeah.
So you can be a pioneer in the situation, right? And you can continue to create these trends, but you can have, because at the end of the day, it's like no one wants someone to really copy or emulate them or to be an imposter.
No, not at all.
But you can set that trend.
Yeah, this is true. this is true. And I will say one thing. One of the things that I had to kind of correct myself is when I'm back home and out and about in the city, it seems like a lot of these the younger generation. It's like they all kind of look the same. Where it's like they all have the same style, whether it be the coat, the jeans, how they're wearing the pants, the shoes. I mean, even hairstyles. But then I really had to think back to like the late '80s and early '90s of where we were just the same. Everybody had starter jackets. Everybody had triple fat gooses. Everybody had Eddie Bowers and New Balance. So, I mean, it's the same cycle, just presenting itself, in a different way. So I had to kind of had to bite my tongue on criticizing the hey, everybody looks the same because yeah, I get it. It's the trend now of that's their trend. How they're dressing and moving around. But yeah, I think everything still comes full circle. You know what I mean? Slim jeans, baggy jeans, stuff that we saw, even back when I guess in the '70s when I had the bell bottoms. They came back around and women started wearing their pants with a little flare at the bottom. So everything comes in cycles.
Yeah, natural. I think everything has its life cycle, right? And I think one thing about trends is they come and they go.
Exactly.
Oh, they come and they go. They come and they go, and I'm with you on that. But I think that's where it gets. It gets real dicey, right? It gets dicey as into, do you want to be that trend, or do you want to be a person that continues to set trends? So how do you do separate that?
Yeah, that's true.
And that's
true. I mean, yeah.
That's what I thought. Yeah. I thought a deep conversation. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like it seems so, minimal, but it also at the same time is it's a real conversation as to, like it's part of that purpose, right? You want to be a follower, you want to be a leader, you want to set trends, you want to continue to set trends, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's why you have these drill rappers, or what I'm saying, that just situation, or you got someone that can set the bar. Which one do you want to be?
No, I mean, I think you're spot on with that one. I think you're spot on. It definitely is a decision point. Do you want to be a part, of the pack, or do you want to stand out, ahead of the pack?
Yeah. That's why I say, man, we talk about different shows that be on. We talk about this, that, and the third. I'm not gonna lie, every once in a while, you may catch a. Depending on who you watching TV with, you may catch a couple shows, and you can lie in front of your folks and be in bullshit talking about, oh, I don't watch reality TV, but sometimes that shit, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes that shit is entertainment, right? And every once in a while, if anyone says you may wear a pair of shorts that go right at the kneecap. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't give a fuck about. You know what I'm saying? The whole trend thing is, again, there's a minimum, right? There's
exactly. Well, and you mentioned something. We definitely got to get into it in the coming weeks. I know we're close to wrapping up, this week. But one of the things I see now is, a couple months ago we were talking about how there's not much on TV. But now it's like it's too much on TV. So trying to be a productive member of society, as well as keep up with all the TV is almost impossible. Because now you got Godfather of Harlem. You got Snowfall is back out. Of course, you got the DMF. You got All American. You got man, it's what else? It was something else. I came across. You got Mayor of Kingstown.
Mm.
It's just a bunch of. Matter of fact, You is out, and we'll touch on U's. I'm hearing some mixed reviews about that. I haven't checked out the new season yet, but it's a lot on TV right now, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, man. Like the Godfather of Harlem right now, man. They got some episodes on there, right? They got a couple things on there. So we ain't caught up on Godfather right now. Like
Yeah,
to me, I feel like Godfather of Harlem is the real Godfather. Like that right there is a good show.
it is. It is. I watched 2 shows last night because I'm now a week behind because I was 3 weeks behind.
Yeah, so was I. I caught up last night though. I caught up this week on all three of them, right? And
Oh man,
it gets to the point to where one thing is someone says in there, are you willing to die for your mission?
mm,
And that's why I say, man, it goes back to what we always talk about, like how words have power. We talk about how we talk about, Ye, we could talk about Breezy, you know what I'm saying, how folks
yeah,
is about different shows and what people say. But in actuality, man, honestly, man, I'm always gonna fuck with if you are a truth or you live in your truth, how can someone else be mad about that?
yeah, yeah.
No, it's agree to disagree, right?
Yeah,
You can't be mad at what someone says about how they feel because we always talk about facts versus opinion. How the fuck can you be mad at that?
yeah. It always goes back, to the gift and the curse of free speech, because you can feel the way you want to feel, you can say what you want to say, but the other side of that coin is, yes, you have to live in that truth, but you also have to deal with any blowback or any consequences that come as a result, because it's quite possible that your truth, whether it be truth or not, can offend or rub someone the wrong way. So I mean, as long as you can live in your own skin and stand up and hey, stand on it. This is what I said. This is how I feel,
Yeah,
and live in that truth. I mean, it's cool, but you just have to be aware that I mean, the wind blows both ways.
that's a real statement. You gotta be comfortable in your skin, and
Yeah,
whichever the wind blows, you know what I'm saying. You gotta accept that.
yeah,
But if you
exactly.
accept it, it means you obviously own your own truth. So fuck it. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, this is true. This is true. I mean, you can't knock that. I mean, well, we're all individuals, and like we always say, I mean, we're two highly, opinionated individuals, and I mean, the biggest thing is, I mean, you just, I don't want to say, well, yeah, I mean, you accept, where a person's coming from. I mean, where they stand on an issue, but
Mm.
I mean, how you react to them, I mean, now that's more of a personal decision. If you decide to, treat them differently, I mean, that falls on you because, like you said, that person is, they're living and standing in their own truth.
Yeah, so that makes me ask, right? So as we ask every week, we always ask, our listeners to talk about some honest stuff, right? We always pose a question. So my question for this week is, are you 100% honest or are you 100%, let's say honest, are you comfortable in your own skin to tell anyone and everyone what your truth is?
Yeah,
Are you okay with accepting what people's response will be?
I mean, that's valid, man. I can't dispute that, man. But hey, before we get out of here, I got the sun is fully up outside. Looks like it's gonna be a nice day. Yesterday it was a little hazy outside. The
Mm.
top of the Burj Khalifa was sitting in the clouds, man. But before we get out of here, man, what you got going on this for the rest of the week or the weekend?
Oh, this week's gonna be lovely. This week is again. It's we time is moving quick. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
It's a big thing that's been on my mind lately, as we continuously always talk about, is can you accept what I tell you? You know what I'm saying? Like, can you accept my opinion? Whether you believe
hmm
it's facts or opinion or not, can you accept it? And do you know the difference, right? Of being able to separate whether or not you agree with it, whether you not don't agree with it. Are you okay and willing to sit there and say, well, that's that individual's or that's his thought about it?
yeah,
So that's kind of where I'm at, right? And we talk about
okay,
coming up. Honestly, man, one big thing is we always talk about it. Every year is the year of the no or it's the yes. No may separate. Are you willing to step out your comfort zone? Or yes, I'm willing to do what the fuck I want to do. And
yeah,
give in own truth. That's where it's at now. And I've been telling folks all year, you know what I'm saying? You may not like what I gotta say, but you can appreciate it, so I'm being honest.
and I think the biggest thing is realizing that it's okay to disagree. Because everybody has their own viewpoints, own life experiences, own opinions, own beliefs. But it's just, sitting down and having that conversation to see, where there is common ground, because, a lot of things, they're commonalities and, what's being discussed.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of times we get caught up on, one or two, statements or opinions. And we, kind of, hold on to that, whether looking at things in, totality, because again, everybody is passionate, about, what they believe or, what they think. But, yeah, to just find that common ground to, like, okay, I see your point here. I don't agree, what you're saying there, but, I respect your opinion, and it's okay to, disagree.
Facts. 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 Facts on facts on facts. That's real. That's where I'm at this week. I'm on this week of and every day. Just giving my truth. If you like it, cool. If you don't like it, I can't help you.
Hey man, you're speaking like an individual that just hit 50 and like, you know what? I'm gonna live the way I want to live.
Hey, I gotta do what I gotta do. You know what I'm saying? I can't help you whether you like it or not. I can't help you on that. I told
uh,
somebody the other day, it's like, hey, I can throw something out there, but I'm gonna do what I gotta do for me. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is.
nah, man, hey, I can dig it, man. See this weekend. Oh, this weekend not too much going on. Back in the gym this week. So back on the routine. I know Saturday. We have a new brunch we're checking out, and when I say new, it's not a new event, but it's new to us. It's supposed to be one of the livest, most entertaining, brunches in Dubai. So we're going to check that out in the after party. So I'm definitely excited about that, and I will give my feedback and my readout on it next week because, as I've said in the past, brunch here in Dubai is an experience.
Yeah.
Always, said, hey, DMV, man, we got brunch on lock, but when you got, people walking around on stilts and, shows during the brunch, it kind of combines, so many different things in one. So
Yeah.
Definitely looking forward to that. Another reason, why I'm stepping up the cardio this week. Trying to burn some calories because I know that this Saturday brunch, it's going to be full blown, plate after plate after plate. So you don't want to be walking around with all that excess weight going into the following week, but should be a good time, man. We got some more folks coming in town. I think they get in on Tuesday, party at 10. So we're gonna link up with them and kind of same experience, a little bit of the tourist stuff. They got a full itinerary. They got a PowerPoint, for their trip. So I'm glad that they got activities. Stay busy and link up with them. For a lunch or something at one of these local authentic spots to give them that other feel to Dubai. But other than that, man, that's about it. That's about it.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Living that truth.
Yes, sir. Well, we appreciate y'all for rocking with us. And as always, we always say we're two highly opinionated individuals, and we love to listen to the opinions of others. So if we said something to you or the question that was uh, posed to you by Nas, if it struck a chord with you, hit us up in the comments. Let us know what you think. We're open to hearing your opinion as well. And last but not least, don't forget to keep those hookahs clean after every use. Just go ahead and rinse it out. Make sure that you're all set. So next time you're in the mood for some shisha, half the work is already done. Now you're just part of the assembly line. So until next week, we appreciate you.
And as always, click, like, and subscribe.